welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be doing my April TBR video, but it's going to be a little bit different because this month I actually kind of need to order a bunch of books, probably off of eBay. So I'm going to get Kindle Unlimited for a month because I think I can get a month free trial and just read as many books as I possibly can that I've been interested in that are on Kindle Unlimited. Now, that does mean, since this list is going to be kind of long, all of these books that I'm interested in, that I'm going to be DNFing like crazy. Like, if the book is not catching my attention, because I'm only going to be doing this for like a month, I'm just going to put it down, pick up a different one, and maybe come back to it that month, maybe not. We'll see, but it's just going to be kind of this random list. We'll see if I can get through some of them. And then, at the end of the month, I plan to spend up to like $25, I don't know, ish, purchasing the best book that I read this month, the one that I enjoy the most, the one that I must have for my shelves, because I really prefer to have physical copies. That's why I don't already like use Kindle, generally speaking. And obviously I probably can't afford to buy all of the books that I like from Kindle Unlimited, because a lot of times those are self-published, and so the only place that you can usually find them is right on Amazon for full price, and I almost never pay full price for books. So we are going to do this, and then I'll buy the best one. So let's get to the video. So the first book on this list is going to be Never Die by Rob J. Hayes, and this book seems to be about this guy who gets a mission to kill an immortal emperor, and he has to like get this gang together in this sort of Asian-inspired fantasy world. Anyways, it seems like Never Die is a quest to go kill an immortal emperor with sort of a band of people in an Asian-inspired fantasy world. So, sounds really interesting. I've heard it's really good. The next book on this list is The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong, and this book is about a mother and her son, and I guess sort of the mother like has put away her sword, but she has to pick it back up to get her son out of some danger or something. I'm not totally sure. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on these because otherwise we're going to be here for an hour. But yeah, I'm sure you've all heard of it. It's sort of a booktube darling. So I'm going to try to pick it up because it's actually in Kindle Unlimited last I checked. Haven't checked recently, but we'll see. The next book on this list is Cradle, and specifically the 4th through 6th books, because I did actually go ahead and get the first 3 when they were for free on Kindle a little while ago, and I read through those, and I enjoyed them. I thought they were fine. I didn't love them like a lot of people on Reddit seem to, but I did enjoy them, and I've heard that they get better and better as they go, so I will probably try to read 4 to 6, maybe, during the month. And if, of course, I get like really caught up in the books and I really, really, really love them, then maybe I'll just keep going, and that'll be all I do all month is read Cradle. But I guess we'll see. The next book on my list of Kindle Unlimited books is The Rise of the Ranger by Philip Quantrill, and it's the first book in the Echo Saga, and like there's a war between all these kingdoms, and there's an assassin and a ranger guy who has to do some stuff. I don't know. Sounds interesting. Might pick it up. The next book on this list is Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. Seems to be a little bit more of like a classic fantasy where there's like a boy from a small village and he has to like become a dragon rider and, I don't know, be powerful or whatever. I've heard this book is really good. Also happens to be on Kindle Unlimited, at least last I checked, which again, everyone, if these things aren't still on Kindle Unlimited, I'm sorry. I've not looked recently. The next book on this list is Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. I actually read the sample of this book, and it sounds interesting. It seemed interesting. However, I was worried that it was going to turn into a like magic school sort of a situation, so I did not buy it. But for free, I'm willing to give it a try. And it's about like this slave girl and her like what she wants out of life, which is more than, you know, being a slave. And there's a magic system with like kind of 2 types of magic in this world, and I don't really know a lot more than that, but the writing was pretty good. I did enjoy that. I just wasn't sure if I loved that it was maybe going to just turn into like a magic school book. But for free, I'm willing to give it a shot. The next book on this list is Frost by C.N. Crawford. Cheeky Chapters actually recommended this book, and I said I'd give it a try, so I'm going to. I did read the sample, which I enjoyed, and so I will probably pick this one up this month. It's about like the modern world kind of mixed with the Fae, and the Fae King is gonna pick a new wife from among fairy, and the main character is in the human world, but she's a fairy, I guess, and as far as I can tell, she's gonna end up in some kind of like competition to marry the king. Though she doesn't want to, and where the sample stops, she has not joined the competition, but one can assume that she will. The next book on this list is The Curse of the Wolf King by Tessonia Odette. I actually read her other series with the, I don't remember what it's called, Forgotten Isles, something like that. Don't know. I read those a while ago, like a long time ago, and I liked them. I remember liking them quite a lot. And since then, I follow her on Instagram, and her books are beautiful because she does the art herself, and there's like a dust jacket that has some pretty art, but then underneath the dust jacket, there's beautiful character art right on the book. And I've really been looking for an excuse to buy them, but they're kind of expensive. I mean, not for hardbacks, but just for me and my willingness to spend on books. But if it wins this competition, I could buy it. So, I haven't read them yet. I haven't read this series, that is, which I think is set in the same world as the one I like. The Fair Isles. Ha! I remembered. Anyway. Yeah, so this is the first, and they're like fairy tale retellings, and I think The Curse of the Wolf King is probably Beauty and the Beast, but I don't know, and I will correct myself if I'm wrong. If there's nothing here, then I was right, and it's Beauty and the Beast. The next book on here is Guild of Secrets by Sherry Tapscott, I think, and I actually used to read a bunch of her books on Kindle Unlimited back when I had Kindle Unlimited in high school, because it's been a long time since I've had Kindle Unlimited, and I remember loving them. Like, I liked the way she wrote romance, and I don't even remember how many books of hers I read. I just remember that I used to, like, always pick them up whenever I saw them, and I just saw this series, which I haven't read, which is about, like, it's kind of an urban fantasy series with a very different type of main character than you're used to seeing in urban fantasy, and yeah, I mean, I won't go into too much more detail, but I read the sample and I really enjoyed it, and there's kind of a whole series on Kindle Unlimited, so, like, also possible I could just read that whole series this month. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. And then the last book on here is Bride of the Shadow King by Sylvia Mercedes, and this is your typical, you know, arranged marriage sort of fantasy romance book. However, I think it's like a little bit different because instead of it being like the Fae King, I think he's technically a troll, but like hot, right? You know, they look like people mostly. And the main character is a little bit different than your usual protagonist in that she has a magic power, but it's kind of like more of a curse a little bit from what I can tell. I read the sample, but the sample is not very long for that book, and it seemed interesting, so I'm going to give it a shot because I've been looking for some more fantasy romance that I might like. So yeah, that's the complete list of everything that I want to try on Kindle Unlimited. Hopefully I'll like at least one of them enough to buy the book and, you know, have that to show you at the end of the month. I might, emphasis on might, do weekly updates about where I'm at if I'm reading through these pretty quickly, because I know I used to read through books really fast back when I read them on Kindle Unlimited because there wasn't this like sense of guilt of like wasting money, you know, by like burning through books instead of enjoying them. But I might just try to burn through some books this month. We'll see. But yeah, if I'm reading them pretty fast, if I'm having a good time, if I want to talk about it, then I might film like weekly updates. Otherwise, I would expect the end of the month for me to kind of come in with an update, like how many books I read, which ones I liked. I may not talk about DNFs depending, just because a lot of these are probably self-published just because it's Kindle Unlimited. I don't want to like trash them too much, but I might mention just like, oh, I tried these, I didn't like them enough to keep going. But it will be a lot different than like my typical DNF because I'm not going to give it a huge shot really, because I'm going to try to burn through as many books as I can that I really enjoy this month, because, you know, it's like a kind of a one-shot deal for me with this Kindle Unlimited thing, because I don't know that I'm going to keep paying for it after a month free trial. I mean, maybe I will. We'll see. But yeah, so if I'm reading it and at any point I'm like, I'm bored, I don't want to be reading this, I'm going to just put it down, pick a different one, maybe go back, maybe not. But yeah, so that's what I plan to do for April. I may pick up other books physically if I feel so inclined. I'm expecting The Secret Project book 1 to show up hopefully in April, so if that shows up, I may drop everything and read that. Depending. Maybe if it's close to the end of April, then maybe I'll just wait till May so that I can have this nice, clean Kindle Unlimited sweep. But yeah, I actually don't know where my Kindle is. Like, I had a Kindle in high school. I think it's with me and not at my mom's house, but I don't really know. So, we'll see if I actually find a Kindle. Otherwise, I'm just going to use the Kindle app on my phone, which works perfectly fine. But hopefully it won't give me a headache for staring at my phone all day. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!